Good morning everybody, happy Thursday. We're going to do our partner drill conditioning video. What we will do as well is we'll give you some options for if you don't have a partner or a family member willing to participate. So we're going to start with the traditional old school conditioning. So facing a partner. Okay. We'll start with low block because I think this is the easiest one to start with. Please make sure you're using two arms when you're doing this, otherwise you're just building bad habits. Sometimes you drill for technique, other times you drill for speed. So we're both going to start with our right hand. We're going to bring it across, strike together. Now a drill I like to do, particularly with children, is when we go for the next one, I like to leave that there. I bring it across and I switch last second. Across, switch last second. Now you go as hard or as soft as you like, depending on your partner. So what you kind of have to agree on between you is how hard we're going to hit. And pause. So there's your starting point. Maybe do 10, 20. I'd start with 10 and build up, otherwise you're going to end up a bit bruised. You can also do the same thing with into-out blocks. So again, we're going to come underneath and out. Now the other fun game to play, the fun coordination exercise, extend, bring it under and out. Extend, under, out. Extend, under, out. So you're all the time getting used to that reactive arm. Okay. And again, 10, 20 on each side. Build that into yourself as a little drill. Out to in is quite nice and easy because you are just smashing your arms together, but don't forget your reactive arm. So to start this off, you can even bring your right arm out, left arm to shoulder, smash in, extend, out, smash in, extend, out, smash in, extend, out, smash in, extend, out, smash in. Okay. And again, all the time, feedback from your partners. What you don't want is that one of you is merrily going, this is great, and the other person is over there thinking, oh my God, my arms are currently on fire. Then once you've got those basics into yourself, so let's say you do 20 of those on each arm, you're then going to build it up into a little drill. So we'll start with the out to in, low block, into out combination, and then we'll play the punching your partner in the face game. That was a fun game. So I'm going to come out to in, low block, into out. Now you'll notice we're not using the reactive arm because this is a bit of a speed drill. So this is where you can start building up your pace. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So here, roll past each other and up. This is a bit like bong work. You have to not look at your partner because they are going the opposite way to where you're going. They're doing the same thing, but they're facing the other direction. So we meet, we go past each other. So now the outside edges of our arms together, and then we bounce off each other back together. So in, roll past, bring it back up. In, roll past, bring it back up. Your handshake, if you were to take away your partner, is this. In, roll, back. In, roll, back. In, roll round, back. And then to finish off, you can add a little high block into the mix. So I will be the aggressor, as I very often am. I'm going to go out to in, low, into out. I am going to try and punch Mr. Banks in the face. He's going to push up. I'm going to go out to in, down, low, and I'm going to try and punch him in the face again. You really have to try and drive for their face. They are really, unless they mess this up badly, in no danger because they are still in contact with your arm. Then it's Mr. Banks' turn to punch me in the face on the next round. So we go 1, 2, 3, push it up. This is where you've got to make sure you are driving it up and forwards because if you just do this, it is still going to hit you in the face. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, push up. Okay, there's a little partner drill you can do. Again, start light and build up. Because we're quite well conditioned, we've been hitting each other for years. If you're new to this, this could well leave some bruising in the early days. And what you don't want is to just be purple and having to explain to people what happened to your arms. So, moving on. So, moving on to other drills you can do with a partner. You have the, what we would call 3-step sparring in class. You can start with just the blocks again. So we probably have space in here, I would say, for 3 steps between us without smashing through the walls. So I'm just going to switch back this way a little bit. Always check behind you before you start. It saves a lot of furniture in your home. So I'm going to bring my hands across. Mr. Banks is stepping back, so he has options. He can come from his hip or he can come from his shoulder. If you're new, I would suggest you do what Mr. Banks very sensibly did and do the same thing that I'm doing, otherwise everyone gets confused. He steps back, I step forward. What's great like this versus the other drill is this gives you distance perception as well. So at this range, I know I can just about reach him, he can just about reach me. I have incredibly short legs for someone who's a kicker. I'm going to step forwards, he's going to step back. We might only fit in one more. And now Mr. Banks is going to come forwards to me. I step back in 1, 2, 3. And you can apply that same thing with low knife hand block. So again, he steps back, I step forwards, low, 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 and back, low, low, low. And again, a couple of times back and forth. So maybe you agree that you're going to do 10 with the low knife hand, 10 with the mid knife hand. You can do high knife hand if you want to. And then you're going to add the punching in like we would for 3-step sparring. Very convenient how we've got this gym to be exactly the distance that we need. Again, make sure you're practicing your loading. Make sure you're not building bad habits into yourself. So I load, hey! So Mr. Banks steps back, 1, 2, 3. So you'll notice he's gone on the outside of the arm. We go back to Trumby, just for simplicity. He loads, hey! You can go also on the inside of the arms. So that's the inside. Advantage of inside, I have an easier time countering, but I also have to watch for that. Okay, outside I have less options to counter, but I'm in a lot less danger. So we'll now move on to the countering aspect of this. Please keep it simple when you are putting in counters, because what a lot of people do is they start getting complicated. This is a bad time to be an accident and emergency. So now he's got any counter he likes on the end of this. Hey! It's my turn. Now I have to match the crazy. Hey! Hey! Don't know why. So you don't have to be that fancy. It could be a simple, pretty good habit to breed into yourself is that on the final block, just get used to hitting them straight away and then moving back away from the problem. It can be that simple. Okay. One last quick one that we're going to do before we move into Mr. Banks' section to feed in, leg kicks. So you need one foot in front of the other. If you stand neutral, they're not going to be able to fit their feet in between and you're going to get kicked in the groin. Leg kicks, you have to traject downwards. Don't keep going upwards because all that will happen is he will get one very well conditioned glute and possibly, yes, you saw the flinch because he knows exactly what's going to happen if I kick upwards on an inside leg kick. So you have the option. You can tap, 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 tap. You'll notice Mr. Banks is doing a little lean onto that leg to power out. Again, notice I am bare shinned. I am not going. Okay. There's a reason for shin checks and blocking leg kicks. The reason is they hurt. So let's say you're going to do 10. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, then he might do my front leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as lacking in instinct as this is, notice I'm pushing my leg towards the kick a little bit. Weight onto it and towards the kick. If you meet it, it's going to take a lot of the sting out. So now we're going to move on to Mr. Banks' kickboxing conditioning, where we're going to cover blocking the leg kicks, kicking and returning, and blocking punches, deflecting.
Okay, so going on to the kickboxing side now, as you can see we've got shin pads on. You can do this without shin pads, but you'll have to lower the power level down. So it is more sensible to have the shin pads on to protect yourself and your partner a little bit. Again, doing this bare foot, it works, but you're going to get a lot more bruising, possibly split skin, toenails into skins and stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit difficult. So with here, you're doing the sensible thing. So blocking the roundhouse kick. Now, the important thing to do is we're going to start with the back leg first because it gives you maximum time. Yes, the back leg's a heavier kick, but you've got more time to react. So if you're not used to this, it gives you more time to think about where your hands need to be. If it comes in from the front, it can be a little bit quick and you flinch a little bit, you're not getting it right. Okay, so the right leg will come in, so my left hand is going to be up, so I cover as much as I can, and the right hand is going to come across in front. See, that's my right hand there, that's my left. So it's in front of my arm. If you look at this angle here, my hand is past my forearm. Being here is a waste of time. It's gone across enough, but it's still going to hit my arm. Okay? So for those who don't know, with Thai, if a roundhouse kick comes in and hits your bicep here, that will be a point scored against you. So you have to block that a little bit deeper to use your hands to block in front. Okay, I know we do karate, so it's not too much of an issue, but trying to get this idea here. So as the back leg comes in, there, coming across. Okay, now I'm using this without, again, if you want extra protection, you can have hand wraps or gloves, but I'm getting this across here and getting widespread. Don't have your fingers spread crazy, a little bit apart. So again, there. Okay. Okay, so you can see that my hand is taking most of it. The arm there is my insurance policy. Okay, if I just block with my hand, the foot could come round and slap the back of my head and it's a very easy knockout. Okay, if I just block with my arm, that's a lot of weight here and my body goes across. I lose my position, composure and everything else as well, my posture. It's going to be very easy for them to follow up because I'll be off balance. If you look, when the kick comes in, but I hardly move at all, nothing. My hands do all the work and I immediately retract back to position. So again, there. Okay, now we've got to do the other side. Now your partner can either do it from a switch kick or they can kick from the front. So for the switch kick, first of all, leg switches across, goes back, goes across to there. Okay, so I'm up and covering it and I immediately retract back to position. So that good habit of bump, bump, bump. There, not, because that's when they follow up with a punch and knock you out anyway. So switch, here. Now straight from the front, either a step up pendulum if you've got good flexibility, picking the knee straight up. It's going to be a lot quicker, but you should notice it'll be a lot lighter. It'll be a lot different because you see the power of the kick's coming from there to there, whereas if with the switch, it's coming all the way through with the leg. So it's going to be a big difference in the power that you feel there. But we're still having that same principle here. What I don't want to do is turn. If you look at that, if I turn myself and overreact there, that's a lot of pressure on my forearm and I'm creating more space the opposite side. So I'm getting this. There. So again, and the back, straight up. So I'm ready to return back. Now, a simple little drill for this is the right leg comes up, boom, and then I come back with my right leg, you are blocked, and then they kick with the left. I kick with the left, with the right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Okay, so it's just a very simple one. Just get you practicing those blocks. You can condition your arms up to get that timing and take the impact onto your hands and learn how to tense and relax instantaneously. So it comes in, I'm relaxed, relaxed, relaxed. I make contact, tense, and then come straight back. So I'm not tense going across because I can't go too far across. And also I'm not too relaxed, so I'll just flop into it as well. Okay? Okay, shin checks. So again, this is a good way to have shin pads on. Again, once you get used to it, you can pick the power up. But if you don't have shin pads that you can work with, you can do this very lightly. Just again, make sure you keep it really properly light. If you're not used to having an impact on your shins, it can be very painful. Okay, so again, we're going to start with the back leg. Now the first shin check is going to go to my front leg. This is where most people attack with a leg kick, is they're going to attack the front leg. Okay, because it's closer. Okay, the back leg is a lot more difficult to get to because they have to step forward, and if they're stepping forward for a leg kick, they're leaving their face open. So people may try it, but you will find that you can catch the face quite easy, depending on the level. So as it comes in, I'm going to go up here. Okay, I'll do that again. There. Now I'm covering the hands. If you have someone who's a good kicker and it comes in and I look at the leg and I do that, I'm going to get chin there. Or if they've got good leg kicks, they're going to flick up it over like a question mark and I'm going to get kicked in the head. Okay, or shot, thank God for that. Okay, so practicing your hands. So from the front, it's this. This is going to 45 degrees, that's staying on the inside. I don't want this. Okay, I don't want my arm on the outside, that's restricting this hand and it's going to end up looping. If you go here, then I've got a punch straight back through the centre. So that, think outside rather than inside of the arm because it's more restricting you onto your intercostals and stuff like that. So it comes up, there, 45 degrees, okay? If it's going for the left leg to my right, I'm going to think out to the side, okay? I'm not doing this to the front, so I'm going to put my right leg 90 degrees and my arm up as well, up, here, okay? I could possibly think about, comes in, framing with the front hand as well to maintain the distance so they don't throw the kick and then follow it with a hand straight away, okay? I'm going to use that position to keep them back so they can't smother me while my legs up in the air. Okay? One last thing, If they go to do an inside leg kick, okay, there are different types of ways to do it. Personal preference is inside leg kick. I just relax my leg and come up. Okay, but I don't want my leg to kick. I do that. That leaves me open because I'm now in opposite stance. My foot on the inside. Okay, so I need to get up and retract back. Okay, because it's going to take the power out of the kick. Because where it's grounded, it hits, it can't move. If the foot's up, there. And again, I'm taking a little bit off the floor. I'm not doing this. Okay, potentially if they swing into it, that'll look quite cool. But if the longer that's up in the air, the more time they've got to do that. Other thing you could potentially do as well: kick comes in, shuffle back, and come back to the foot. Okay, so very quickly, shin check, bump, other leg, drop. Again, bump, left. Okay, so it's 1:45, 2:90. Okay, the reason I don't have that there is if we turn the angle just a little bit, they'll turn it right. If you look with the left leg, if I bring it straight forwards, that's going to happen. Okay, over exaggeration a little bit, but that's. My legs are going to cross over. If I end up like this, nothing as good is going to happen at all. Okay? So, just so you can see this side, left leg comes in. Look how solid and braced it is, and again I've got that insurance policy in my arm up here. Okay, and you look at my hand is up and relaxed. I'm not doing. The minute that tenses, if you've got any muscle development at all, that's going to restrict your movement. If it's relaxed, come straight back up and down. Okay. Right, so now working a little bit of abdominal with kicks. Again, not kicking hard, it's working two ways. First way is a little bit conditioning. Again, conditioning up to the point of where you get used to the idea of timing. Okay, your abdominals can't get tougher or stronger, you can't develop a six-pack by getting hit. But what you can do is teach your muscles to react when a kick's coming. Secondly, it's going to develop what you call your teep or your front kick to hit towards the solar plexus. It's going to make me more accurate with it without having to throw the loads really heavy at the time here. So it's going to develop my balance. So my back foot's turned out, and the guard's going to be up, so not bad habits are down. Again, pick my foot up and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to hit the same spot every single time. So I'm hitting for that solar plexus area. Again, I'm only hitting light. The idea is to touch. I'm not doing it hard enough so I can push lower back. I want to be able to just touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason lower push back was then is because I did the third one too hard. I pushed too hard, so that means my accuracy was off, I was too low and stuff like that. Okay, then Laura's going to do the same, so hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you're trying to maintain the same area every single time. Okay, so you can keep that going backwards and forwards for 5, 1, oh, balance, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, just trying to get the idea of accuracy. All too often when people do this kick, they get the idea of trying to throw the kick as hard as they can, and they throw it so hard it ends up all over the place and it's ineffective. Okay, so you're better off being a little there and getting accurate and keep them back than trying to throw it so hard you're trying to kick them in half. Think of the teep, okay, the front leg push kick as a jab. You don't try and throw the jab so hard you take someone's head off, you throw the jab to stop them or to keep the range. This is the same thing. That is way more effective than going like this and miss it. Okay, so the ball there. Okay, so what we can do now, you can either do it 3s or 5s. Okay, tell your partner you're going to do 5, but then catch them with 3. Okay, so you're going to catch hand underneath the heel, so it's left foot, left hand, right foot on top. Okay, so guards up, 1, 2, and 3, catch. Throw it out, and then I can go 1, 2, 3, catch, throw it out. There. Now you notice Laura threw away from her body, so they're throwing a teep, if you throw a teep from there, it's going to be too easy to catch to go through. Okay? Whereas if she catches it and throws it across, and in a roundhouse position there, it's a lot harder for me to block effectively like we just did. Okay? So that's another way you can add on to it to make it a little bit more interesting. So again, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, he throws it, down, that roundhouse kick, throw the roundhouse kick, come, and he throws the teep, 1, 1, 2, 3, throw it out, and I come straight back with the teep myself. Okay, and you keep it going that way there. Again, you are working together. It's not 1, 2, 3, bang, yeah, I win. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3. You go 1, 2, 3. If you hurt your partner after the second time you do it, do you think they want to carry on doing it? No. Okay, this is not about trying to blast each other into oblivion. It's about trying to make each other better. Okay, and you do that by being nice to each other. So it's a very simple drill to practice this here and getting that balance and going through without having to kick super hard and hurt each other. If your partner's hurting you, tell them. If they keep on hurting, they're not a good partner, don't work with them. Very simple. Okay. Okay, now blocking punches with your arms. Okay, so this is more of a boxing drill, but it applies to kickboxing and everything else as well. So from here, what I have to do is get this part of my hand on my forehead here. So I don't want it on my eyes for obvious reasons. I get a punch, I'm going to poke myself in the eye. I don't want it out here because it leaves me open, as you can see. So I'm having this way here. Now I can close it in. The important thing, if you look, I know it's hard to see here, that's a squeezed fist, that's a relaxed fist. The whole time I'm relaxed until this punch comes in. Then I squeeze, relax, you get that idea. Okay, and breathe out with it. Breathe out quickly through my mouth. It's going to tense my abdominals and the core. Okay, it's going to pull everything in tighter, so it's going to be harder to hit. So, use 6 punches. Right hook to the body, left hook to the body, right hook to the head, left hook to the head, straight right, straight, and jab. Okay? Now, when I do this, the shot to the body, I lean, so a little leaning, and I breathe out. If I breathe out, if I'm not, that's me holding my breath. If I breathe out, that was more dip into it. Breathe out, so a little twitch to the head. Okay, breathe out, and then 1, 2. So I'm not going to go stay there like this. That creates a bad habit for hooks around the side of the head. Okay, I know my partner's not going to throw hooks to the head, but don't go and just hold there because then you teach yourself a bad habit. So 1, 2. So a little squeeze in. So all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you find you hold your breath, count them. If you can count and hold your breath at the same time, well done. So look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every time a punch comes in, I have to say the number, I breathe out. Then you get the breathing. Okay? Now again, I'm used to taking the shots. Get your partner to start very light, almost like little taps on the side of the hand. So you get the timing. Don't blast it in straight away too early. Okay? And then with that, what you can start doing then, again, maybe this is the point where you start putting your gum shield in or maybe a head guard or stuff as well to think about it, okay, is that they can be random with it. So you've got 6 punches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? When you're throwing these punches straight, aim for your partner's forehead. So if it hits here, yeah, it's still hitting the head, it's not ideal. If you're younger, don't do this one, okay? If you're adults, you can get away with it because your skull's more developed, okay? So, but again, try and keep it light. What I'm trying to do is watch my partner. It's getting this habit of being here but having my eyes open. Okay, so chin down, look through and keep my eyes open. If I'm closed, I can't block something I can't see. You may get lucky and get 1 or 2, but most of them will hit you. So as I'm from here, I'm staying in this position. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, what am I looking for? I'm not looking for the punch. I don't know what punch is coming out each time. If I'm looking at the fist, I won't know what's going to happen with the fist until it gets about this far from my face. And if you've got good reactions to deal with that, well done. I'm looking at the shoulders. Okay, if Laura turns her face, okay, if she throws the right hook to the body, look at that drop of the hand. Left hook to the body. The drop of the hand so it goes away from the face. Right hook to the head. So look, there's a little twitch to the shoulder first. Because it's going to the head, the shoulder goes first. Left hook, shoulder goes first. Straight right. Okay, look at the twist. There's a head movement. And then jab. Because the jab is the hardest, in my opinion, the hardest one to reach. Because if it's thrown properly, again, with decent level boxer or pro boxer, that jab is almost impossible to see. So you can learn to read a jab, you can learn to read any punch. Okay, so it's a very simple drill to get this to go through here. Okay, and then what you can finish off with very quickly, if you want a bit of ab conditioning, okay, light. Think 10, start from 10 so you can go for more. Okay, you don't have to go for the Paul McGregor smash each other, so I can just go there. And I'm just varying my punches from here. Now, good habit for me punching is to use my hips a little bit so I can practice them off, throw my punches properly. Okay? And then once you've done that, I can switch over, the lower gets to go, bum, bum, bum. Double up hands, get into good habits. keeping that tense from there, and that's a very simple way to work it. Okay? Thank you. Okay, to finish off, we're going to do some conditioning on abs. What you can do is to get your lower abdominal first, we're going to do some leg raise, and then we're going to go on to some light conditioning. Again, you go to the level you're comfortable with. Communication, if you're working in a partner, communication is really key. Don't just let your partner hit you so hard you start being sick, but don't let your partner also tap you and you sit there again, this is pointless. Okay, so leg raise first of all. So my head, go back a bit.
You're hard,
so,
aren't you?
Here, if you want to make it easy, you can underneath your arms here, but most people should be able to do it this way. I hook this way, some hands on the outside here, and I look at my toes. I won't be looking up like this. Okay, I'm looking down, up, and I push. And don't let my foot hit the floor. So I can be straight. If your partner makes it harder, you can push up an angle. And again, the whole time as I go out, breathe out, come up, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Breathe out, breathe in. Okay?
So, if I may, sir, just a side note for the partner on top, don't put your face forward. Make sure your hands are ahead of your face.
Some people's legs are longer than you think. So a kick to the face would not be cool. Okay, so that's one there. Now then you can do, so you start with the gloves first. So you can do this from standing, you can do this lying down. When I'm working from the floor, this way here. Okay, so you can either do it, sit in this position here and your partner just sits over and punches like so. So look, I'm up and hold this position. Okay, right. We can also intersperse it with sit-ups. So come back position. Oh, you're going that way.
I might.
Okay, so I'm going to sit up, okay, and then come back down and hit from there. Okay, because if I sit up from here, you're going to punch the ribs. So I'm going to be punching from there. Tell me sit up, back down. 4, 5, up. Down, up, down. Okay, my feet are on the inside. For those who know the grappling butterfly guard. Also, alternatives are if you haven't got gloves, you don't want to be punching each other. You can use a pad. So you sit sideways on, so they can hit. Sit up, back down. Up, down. Up, down. Okay. Or to get more area, because again that's very flat over one together. For it cover more areas, you do sit up and just tap it round. Okay, so you've got those options there. Variations of working your abdominals a little bit different way. Again, once you get used to it, you can put the power up if you want to, but again, speak to your partner. Don't just sit there and just think, oh, we're hit harder. If you don't tell them, they won't know. And again, if they're hitting too harder, tell them to line up.
So these are just little drills that you can add in to things depending on what you've got around the house. We have Mr. Banks who, there you go, in ankle weights. These are never more than maybe a kilo.
You can get up to 5 kilo ones.
Yes. But, I personally think you have to be insane for 5 kilo ankle weights or rings. And I have a resistance band. If you've done any of my karate classes, you'll be familiar with these. These come in a range of really skinny elastic band strength ones to the kind of things that can destroy your soul. But again, when you're doing your forms, these are things that you can put on. So if we just do the start of basic form 1, ready, go. So these are just all things that can add a little bit of resistance to your legs. You can also punch some holes in your wall. Okay, so these are just things that can add a little bit of resistance to what you're already doing. I'll step out of mine for a second because this is something I know that you all have in the house somewhere. Belts. Okay. What you can do, hopefully you all did this in the playground, otherwise your childhood was, well, I feel crushed for you. Okay, you put this where it's comfortable. I personally don't mind it being across here. Some people might not like it being across their lower stomach or their ribs. Okay, and I'm going to make a stance. Now, 2 things apply here. Make sure that you're not getting into this habit. Okay, because you won't want to do that really ever. I'm going to pull in, forward, out. Okay. His job, we're going to go across. Now. And again, he can shorten this as much as... His job is not to stop me, it is just to make it hard. So he's not doing the full, if Mr. Banks does the full extent of his strength, yeah, it's not going to end well for me. And obviously this is relative, like if you've got someone tiny, using your full strength doesn't really help them. But he's just making my job a little bit harder. Okay. If you want a slightly tougher drill with this, okay, hands and feet. Notice it's not full presser position because then there's nothing for it to latch onto. Okay, and again, here, because of the way I'm crawling, he can put more resistance on this. Okay, he can also start to pull in different directions to test my stability and how quickly I can adapt. Okay, so there's another little drill you can do at home with your belt. You can also add your ankle weights and your resistance bands in to make your day even harder with this. Those of you who are truly a little bit mad for it. So now I'm going to move on to some ab conditioning and some fun partner drills you can do. I say fun, amusing. We have left out one because it was too funny even for us. So we'll move on to those. Right, so these are what I'd put more in the category of family competition than conditioning challenges. We'll start with the lower level stuff and then what's actually going to happen between siblings and family members. So we are both going to make a horse riding stance. Now, first time you can only touch hands. That's not to say that you can't hook and pull. Okay? But what it does mean is that you can only touch. What you can't do is this. Because I'm going to tell you now what happens with siblings is there is a sneaky game of peanuts that starts going on, and if you're the smallest you're going to get a finger broken when somebody falls. So flat hands, okay, now I can push one, I can push two, I can push both, but my objective is to push him over, his objective is to push me over, and you'll notice both of us checked what was behind us before you start playing this game. After you fall it's no good to find out you were this far from the wall. Ready?
Yes.
Go! I apologise, I hit him in the boob. Just got real sun. Now, when you're, I wouldn't say when you're experienced, when you lose your patience with the hand tapping, you may also touch their shoulders. If you have ladies in your family, please don't just do this. We really don't like it. If you have gentlemen, no low blows because it's unfair. You are strictly talking about shoulders. In our household we would play to the head. I would encourage you not to, because what happens is I will go, boom, he'll hit me a little bit harder, and then before you know it, this is boxing. So. The other thing this encourages you to do, you'll notice, is start playing with a bit of a guard, because you don't want to. So there's a fun little drill. Again, make sure the way behind you is clear. We'll move on to the horse riding stance press-ups. So, you want press-ups or horse riding stance?
Oh, horse riding.
Yeah, horse riding stance. So, this is where you need wheelbarrow position with your partner, but you need the ankles. So, ankle, ankle. He's going to make a horse riding stance. If their horse riding stance is too high, you're going to slide down. Keep your feet tight, and you're going to do press-ups. Do 10, and then swap over. Okay. Sit-up, stand-ups. I like these. You want to do these, or do you want to do them? So, if you're standing up, you need to be on the inside. Okay, if you're on the outside, it's going to be a real difficult stand. I am going to put his feet under my butt, and I'm going to hold, very lightly, the back of his calves. I should point out, this works better if you're both even weight. If you have a 7-year-old trying to do this to you, not going to go well. There are some cheats to standing up. Really, to me, you have to get your butt as close in as possible, and you have to think, drive up and forwards. If you just think drive up, if you time it wrong, you're going to drive up and tombstone backwards. So, that's you. That's nice. He sits back. When he comes up, I'm just going to give him a little assist to stand up. He goes back down, so knees, butt to floor, back up, and you see, look, just little assist. With Mr. Banks, actually, go. Probably don't actually really need to, but you can see the difference between the assist and not helping at all. Okay, so that's just little fun games that you can play with your family. The other one that has just come to my head, sit down. This is a teamwork makes the dream work exercise. We go back to back, link up arms. Now, you have to work together to do this, otherwise this all goes horribly wrong. So, I am pushing the back of my shoulders into the back of Mr. Banks' shoulders. We're going to push together and stand up. Okay, back down. I've never tried this. Ready? No hands. 3, 2, 1, boom. So, teamwork makes the dream work. If you don't work together as a team, what will happen?
You fold me, girl.
I'll fold. So, Mr. Banks is going to push over, and I'm going to get folded up like they're trying to get me into a suitcase. So, remember, teamwork makes the dream work. So these are just little fun things to try around the house with your family. Right, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed trying these things with your family. Remember, communication is key. Don't damage yourself doing stuff like this. Conditioning is, it's something that you need to do well. I think in the past people have done conditioning just to the extreme all the time, and what happens years down the line is you've got loads of injuries that mean you are put out of the game a lot earlier than you need to be. So please remember to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get involved. Lockdown's getting long, and you need interaction. You need people. Okay, and as they keep saying, we're all in this together. Like, share, subscribe, and punch your family members. Have a very happy Thursday.
Have a good day.